In this next part, Daenerys is preparing to have William attend the banquet because she has a special surprise for him regarding new armor. While she was quite impressed with how much of his hairy legs he's shown from a kingdom known as Greece of his world, the dark blue star that shines brightly in the Valyrian night sky, though he's not of that kingdom himself. It is a type of armor that would leave him too open for injury, and so she wanted to give him something made specially for him because he is low in stature and she is a bit taller than he is. And of course, it would be made out of a special material to give him much protection, but not too heavy for he can't move about. So, as they are preparing for this banquet, um, William decides that, maybe if she permitted it, he could make a decree for the first time and announce himself to the people that love her so much. She seems very intrigued by this and readily agrees to this. After all, by his own heraldry, for which she adopted because she didn't want to lose the chance to have the Iron Throne of Swords for the realm of the kingdoms, because his heraldry doesn't allow that, and that is why she adopted his heraldry. In which case now he sits at the right hand, following in her stead, as much as a queen would in the usual tradition. She agrees to this. She feels that perhaps the people should know who he is. He's been in the palace long enough, and if he's going to be on the battlefield, at least they know who's fighting for them, one not of their world, but of a myth and a legend known as a human, from a world far, far away, smaller than her world, known as Earth. So William does. He goes out on the balcony after she announces him, and he makes a very wonderful long speech. And then she comes to say a few words herself. And when it's all done, she expresses how proud of him she is because of how professional he acted and not bringing her any disgrace or humiliation. In much of the words he spoke, he had also honored her. So William then is getting ready for, going to the banquet, and he gets on his very special dress outfit, as much as he did the time when he went to this special dance with her. And because he's already worn it since he was making his speech anyway, he's already prepared, so he enters into the dining hall waiting for her. She gets her outfit, and Missandei kind of looks intrigued about this. Daenerys is not too sure about it because while she had no problem showing her navel off before, this was a bit different. She felt a little more exposed and had the look on her face that she wasn't too sure about this type of outfit because it's just not something she's ever worn before, but she looks hopeful, and with Missandei's help, figures out that the waistlet is to cover her navel, not that she had anything to be ashamed of, but it was mere decoration. Missandei assures her she looks very elegant, and so she then too enters into the dining hall. William is just totally blown away by her beauty, and she is intrigued and, well, pleased that William finds her this attractive, wearing something that he had gotten her made special for her. Tyrion, of course, makes a toast for both of them and sits at the table afterwards as Daenerys introduces William to at least 3 key people that are in charge of the Kingdom of Meereen's affairs. They don't normally get seen in the Pyramid Palace all the time, but they merely are ones in charge of certain sectors of the kingdom who are now placed in charge of finding out who, by the order of the one that she had as a personal advisor and guard, assign others to find out appropriate ages and not too old, not too young, that would be willing to serve in this new army she's yet to form. So, as William is talking to them, Missandei then comes up to Daenerys and informs her that the astronomer that she has requested some time ago, after William made his great secret unlocked discovery about what happened to the Valyrians, comes forward. Daenerys, still seeming a little bit worried that what if William, her human husband, is right? If it happened twice in his world, could it happen again here? Though they are not highly advanced, she places this assistant, who comes in the astronomer's place, with an apology that the astronomer was not able to make it, and explains to him all things on how the disaster totally wiped out Valyria, and gives him a scroll to take back to the astronomer to do the best research he can to find out what needs to be done. She, with a look of concern, makes this a priority research that needs to be done. The assistant understands and then takes his leave to head back to the astronomy area of the Kingdom of Meereen. In the meantime, then Tyrion kind of is curious as to why she looks a little bit concerned, because she's looking down with much on her mind, and she looks up and kind of, without letting everything that she knows out of what she's learned, tells Tyrion about things she has been told by William of how the secret of the Valyrian Doom has finally been revealed to her. This historian overhears this and assures her that everything that they have documented, as far as they know, has been the truth, but she tells them that a great secret has been unlocked. She often wonders if the Smoking Sea, where some of the ruins are not totally destroyed, are still somewhat poisonous if one was to explore the ruins. But knowing that some people have disappeared without a trace, while trying to also prove the world was round, may not be a good idea to explore yet. And since nothing has happened as far as quakes go, these buildings still stand. She then tells the historian that eventually there's going to come a time where history needs to be updated, because though symbolism is everything, William, her human husband, is more of a treasure than she ever understood until recently, and that though she's not allowed to speak of it because of a pact that was made when William had to send off certain farewells by human custom to his world that he can never get back to, there's going to come a time that certain strange things that came with William will be released from the vault, and that all things, not just the past for her people, but the past of this human and those like him, will be revealed. She goes on to say, as Missandei is standing nearby, that this history will be of the greatest importance for her lineage, and because now human is her husband king, it unites the two worlds more than ever because of the great vast knowledge that the human has brought to her world. The historian assures her that if such a strange thing did come with William, and history is to be updated, that he will do this. In the meantime, back at the banquet, she rejoins him and gives William a gift and has him take a cloth or sheet off of it. William finds this quite intriguing, as it's armor with the Mother Dragon's emblem on it and a dragon spear emblem on the shield. The shield is much like his other one, but a bit larger and more sharper. And he has a new red tail like that of a dragon on his helmet, known as a comb, though it was kind of unusual for her in her world. And he is greatly well pleased with this. And so now she wants to see him try on his armor to see what he would look like. William agrees to this and excuses himself from the banquet room. Upon William's return, Daenerys is standing, and she looks well pleased as how William looks. And so, after the banquet comes to a close, William takes her by surprise. This time, he's not going to leave this easy because he surprises her because of how much he loves her after he's out of his armor, and gently caresses her stomach, kissing her on her neck, and then lifts the bottom of her top, exposing her breasts, and starts massaging them and playing with her nipples. They're hard and erect, twisting them back and forth. She reaches up and grabs a fistful of his hair from the back of his head while he's got his arms around her from in back of her, and turns around and tells William, "You're now going to be punished, as I had been expecting this." And he knows he's not getting away this time. So needless to say, as they spend much hours in the secondary chambers, they never make it to the chamber that she usually is in, because they make love for the longest time that night. And much is the sweet ecstasy, arousal, and stimulation that they give each other. After much time of pleasing each other, she looks towards William, and they make plans before falling asleep about how things will turn about if William should end up having to defend her and champion her in a battle when she has their first child. But she is assured that he will come back to her, and she knows this because it's something she has to believe in. And therefore, she knows that she decides that no matter what happens, even if she should have the first child, she will find a way to travel to wherever the battlefront's at, as in the usual custom, most battles cease for the night, only to continue the next morning. And perhaps then, William will get his first chance to look upon their first created child together. And she and William then, looking each other deeply in the eyes, exchange much sensual kissing and hugging. And because she loves the warmth of his body that provides for her, because a human has a higher body temp, they fall sweetly asleep in each other's arms. It is now the next day, and William and Daenerys get dressed. Because she had only tried this outfit on, she decides to wear it for the remainder of the day today. And William seems pleased on how she's dressed. He occasionally flirts with her, and again lifts her top up, exposing her breasts. She loves the way he just acts so spontaneous, and loves the way how he touches her and fondles her, kissing and sucking and licking and doing whatever it is that you can only imagine William loves to do, and it greatly stimulates her. And she grabs fistfuls of his hair and again tells him that they're never going to leave the chambers. He keeps this up, so he knows he has to reluctantly quit doing what he's doing. They make it to the dining hall, only to be surprised that Missandei decided to have them both honored with a special breakfast. They both are appreciative of this, and even Daenerys compliments Missandei for having to have gone so much trouble. Missandei is only more than happy to do this. Meantime, William has somebody, quietly, without Daenerys knowing it, goes to order a couple of special baby toys. He knows that in Daenerys' world they're not as advanced as his world is, but perhaps there'll be something appropriate for, like, what he calls a baby bed for a baby, be it a boy or a girl. The special servant, or one that's not yet a knight, kind of understands and is given ample enough of gold to use his good judgment as to what would be appropriate for a baby. Of course, they're kind of not too experienced in this themselves, but they're going to do the best they can, so William accepts this. In the meantime, as they finish breakfast, there is a message then to both Daenerys and William that the special alarm system that William had designed and she had approved for having installed has been finished. and they may hear some strange noises throughout the kingdom, but it's because it is the new warning system that William had designed for her kingdom, so they know when an enemy is approaching or about to invade. She understands this, and so they sit patiently waiting to see what will happen as they are going to test this out. After the test had been done, and it did echo throughout the kingdom, the gongs, of course, being it took two to make such an echoing sound halfway through the kingdom. This is why a special pyramid-like horn was made to ring out through the rest of the kingdom for any and all soldiers, unsullied warriors, and those who are in service to the queen, to be on guard and ready in case of invasion or should they have to defend the city. Daenerys approves of the test, and William assures her that the next time this sound goes off would only be indicating that somebody's trying to invade, attack the kingdom, or they are about to be attacked. She understands this, and so therefore she now decides that it's time to get serious and tells William it's time for him to start his training. He accepts her command and gives her a long hug and a kiss, and he decides to settle in with the men that he is to train. He makes quite the introduction, and training then starts. He doesn't tell Daenerys though. He just happened to see the recording device now since he made his presentation about the Valyrian Doom, and decides to take it with him, hoping that she won't notice. Grey Worm, of course, is standing by as he does his practice training with his comrades of the Unsullied Warriors. And after some time training, William then makes a recorded type letter. Well, it just so happens that William decided that it might be kind of interesting and give much stimulation and humor if Daenerys was to hear this. While Missandei's visiting Grey Worm, William asked her if she would deliver this to her. Missandei's kind of surprised that William has this, and he said, well, it was laying out anyway, and he didn't see any harm in it, and he's actually given it back, but it has a type of letter that you can listen to. Daenerys seems kind of interested about this, because this could be something strange again, but she doesn't say nothing, and gladly takes it, because Daenerys will probably be wondering where it's at. Meantime, the spy who, since quite some time ago, found an easy escape when they had come back from the honeymoon, finally makes its way to Castle Black after being redirected from the House of Baratheon, because the Lanis King relative is meeting with an old friend at Castle Black. As he makes his way in, he sees people are doing their practices of their own to be ready in case anything should come up again from the time when the White Walkers attacked, which is in reference to Series 7 or 8 of the original Game of Thrones. They always want to be ready. So, as he sees the two standing at the end of a lookout, the spy then gets the attention of the Lanis king cousin and has a chat with him privately about what he's discovered. This greatly intrigues the cousin of now king of the House Baratheon, and decides that this is a good time then to inform the others. So after the hired spy is well paid and he takes his leave, he and his friend at Castle Black exchange farewell warm greetings and farewells, and then he takes his leave to go back to the House of Baratheon. Most unexpectedly, Missandei comes in and brings to Daenerys' attention a scroll, which surprisingly comes from the House of Baratheon. Daenerys looks at the scroll as she opens it and reads it, because she was not expecting to hear anything from that house since the time when she and Jon Snow were just barely married after being occupied in King's Landing for about 3 to 6 months, and only having been married for 3 days, she wonders what this is all about now. But then the look on her face changes, and she looks pretty serious. She doesn't like what the scroll says, as it is a mere warning that if she should just step down, that she could live out the rest of her life with her uncle, though they don't know exactly where he's at, which is fortunate for him. And if not, that she should expect that in return for which she has given to King's Landing. This is a very serious threat, and she does not appreciate this at all. So she discusses much with Daenerys about this threat, and how she does not feel that she wishes to be pushed around or manipulated and intimidated in any way. She also stresses that she has great faith that this human husband of hers, by which the visionary had given her the prophecy before his arrival, should prove quite beneficial, because without this prophecy of what the visionary had told her comes to pass, this could worry her now that she will not hold any throne. But Missandei assures her that she too has faith in this one, that her husband, that she should not have to worry. And then, as she gets up with still a serious worried look on her face, goes out to the balcony, and Missandei's about to leave, and then remembers, when she reaches into her pocket, that William had methodically had this device and passed it to her to give to Daenerys. She looks at the device, and looks at Daenerys standing on the balcony, not sure if this is a good time to give it to her or not, but if it does have something funny to say, perhaps this will give her a better mood. She goes out to the balcony and informs Daenerys that William had found the device and said there was a audio letter on it. So Daenerys goes back in and sits down and hands her the device. She looks at it and then quickly looks at Missandei with a certain look on her face, as if, how in the world did he get a hold of this? And she's a little bit worried now, because what did William do now? Missandei says that, well, perhaps this might give her some amusement. So she watches as Missandei then takes a seat, and you can see the look on her face forming. This could be interesting. So she looks down, and knowing a little bit how to turn it on, finds something that's a right-sided triangle, which William had explained to her some time ago is the play button. As she hits it, she listens to it, and both her and Missandei are almost at the point where they are shocked by the things he's saying while he's training these men, And she has quite the grin on her face. She can't believe I would say such things on this device, even if he is taking breaks now and then on training. And then with a serious look on her face, what if others would have heard him? This would have been quite the humiliation and embarrassing thing, even though he is her husband, to be mentioning such things. Missandei has the look on her face that this is quite amusing, although Daenerys doesn't seem to find it amusing at first. But perhaps this would be better news than the scroll she just got. Daenerys, of course, assures Missandei that perhaps he needs to be punished again because he seems to enjoy the punishment that she gives him. And it is quite the funny humor, and it's all Missandei can do because, again, more human jokes for his prowessness and being naughty, as the human word would be, to the things he does, which greatly stimulates Daenerys. Well, she assures Daenerys that she has nothing to worry about. And in turn, she then gets another messenger, and she looks up, wondering if this is going to be more bad news. She opens the scroll and reads it, and finds out that there's a special gift for her. So she goes to the next room where these boxes are at, and opens them up, and has quite another mood change. She sees that there is an unusual looking type stuffed animal, but is wearing chainmail like that of a knight. She finds this quite amusing because this is something unheard of and it's never been seen in the world. And then sees another one, miniaturized red dragon. She is assured then that Mrs. Handy finds this quite humorous as well, that perhaps these were the type of things that children of the human world would play with. She looks at Missandei and lets her know that, well, William might be off the hook for some punishment. He's not totally off the hook for all punishment for getting a hold of the recording device. Missandei finds this quite funny and is looking forward to seeing how this will turn out, as Daenerys is much looking forward towards this as well, based on the smile upon her face. And so thus ends this part of the chapter, Game of Thrones 2, Khaleesi's Dragon Spirit.